So Berkeley is a UK developer. We're one of the biggest developers in the UK. We focus primarily on prime residential property. So you'll come across a lot of different developers when you do different events. A lot of them are kind of their max developers. They deal all over the country. We focus solely within London, the surrounding areas, and then we also have a couple of developments in the Midlands as well. This is just a few facts about Berkeley. So Berkeley was established in 1976. So we've got hundreds of developments over time. We're a FTSE 100 company, so we're a publicly listed company. We're one of the biggest companies in the UK. We have 8 international offices. So that's something that's really key for us, is that we've placed ourselves in time zones of all of our major buyers. So we are primarily UK based. We build in the UK, but 80–85% of the people who buy our developments are all overseas. So we started opening up offices overseas. I'm based in the Singapore office, and then we also have one in Hong Kong, Dubai, Bangkok, mainland China, so we're pretty much everywhere. The next few stats are just kind of showing our strength and the size of us. So over the last 5 years, we've contributed about £13.8 billion to the UK economy. We've built nearly 20,000 homes. Year on year, that's increasing. So we're a cash-rich company. That's the financial strength stat. What that means is we don't use debt to build. So we don't borrow money. We use off-plan sales. We have a very cash-rich bank. Something as a buyer that should give you confidence for is that we are very, very, very unlikely to ever go under. So I know a big concern, especially throughout Asia. There's been a lot of developers, especially in hard economic times, have gone under. They've had to forfeit on a lot of developments they're building. That's not something you need to worry about with Berkeley. And then the bottom stat, so that was based in 2023. We're actually on track to go about 15% of London's homes this year. So the first few slides is basically, so I'm just going to talk about who Berkeley are. What we have, our portfolio, a very big portfolio. Today we're just talking about 2 specific developments, but I appreciate that everyone's needs are different. These 2 developments might not be exactly what you're looking for. We have over 50 developments throughout London and the surrounding areas. The likelihood is, if you're looking to buy and you're serious about buying, we will probably have something that works for you. There's just a few different points here. First point is we build for everyone, goes without saying. Second point is that our business is about placemaking, not just house building. So what we mean by that is we don't just build a couple of residential towers over kind of 5 years. We are a mixed-use developer. So we build long-term, large regeneration projects. They have hundreds of thousands of square feet of commercial space, facilities, things like that. So within this commercial space, we completely maintain the freehold. So we decide different companies that come in, restaurants, cafes, bars, everything like that. And all of our developments have world-class facilities as well. Gyms, swimming pools, residence lounges, cinemas. As kind of times were evolving, we started to put in things like virtual golf courses, lots and lots of cool stuff. All of these are things that add value to your purchase. They're things that initially you're thinking about buying. It's really important to also think about the selling point as well. And all of these things are, they're factors that mean that your property maintains value. And when you come to sell it, you're going to make some money. So our strategy is based on adding value. So what that essentially means is that strategically we buy land. We buy land very strategically. So we don't just look around kind of London and the UK and find empty plots of land. We look for lands in areas where other developers have already got planning permission, where local councils have already kind of invested money. We buy those plots of land, and that's essentially where we build. So over kind of 10, 20, 30 years, your investment is going to increase in value, not just from what we're doing, but what's happening in the surrounding area as well. Sorry, I should sip the water. So everything we set out to do is long term. So what I mean by that is that we're a long-term house builder, right? So we find massive areas of land, 80 acres to 100 acres, and we're committed there for 10, 20, 30 years. And this was what makes us kind of very different to other house builders. So we'll be on a plot of land for 30 years, and we'll release phases kind of incrementally, phase by phase, and we'll gradually increase the price. As we're increasing the price, we'll bring in things like facilities, more commercial space. So essentially what that means is that you buy into the development at a very early point, And then as the development's growing, as the surrounding area is growing, as we're bringing more things in, your investment is then growing in value. If you're not buying for investment, if you're buying for self-use, for your children that are going to the UK, it also means that we're bringing in things that are going to benefit them. So on the development itself, everything like restaurants, bars, cafes, facilities, transport links, everything like that is going to be exactly where they need them. They're going to feel safe, they're going to have easy access in and around London. So it's, as a parent, you've kind of got that peace of mind. As an investor, you've got peace of mind that your property is going to increase in value. These are just a few other stats about what we do. So the first stat is that we take on really challenging plots of land. So there's a lot of developers in the UK that tend to just buy areas of land that they can just build on. We take on plots of land that are a lot more challenging, that the UK government wants someone to build on, no one will, so we basically tackle it. What I mean by challenging is there's a lot of industrial land in the UK, land that used to be used by kind of factories or gas holder sites. Companies like Thames Water or the National Grid used to use them, and now they're empty. It takes a lot of time to get those plots of land ready just to put a spade in the ground and start building. So we're the developer that tends to do that. So we support over 27,000 jobs, and then these are just a couple of other stats that I've already gone through. So before I get on to the two developments we're actually going to be talking about specifically today, I just wanted to show you kind of exactly what we have as a developer. So currently we have 49 live sites. Our price range is from about £200,000 all the way up to about £20 million. So if you're looking for kind of a low value investment with a high rental yield, we definitely have something for you. If you're looking for something a lot more prime, a lot more extravagant, we also have something for you. If you're not familiar with London, I have another map of London, but this ring here is London. So 26 of our developments are based within London, and then we also have developments all around the surrounding counties as well, and we have 2 up in Berkeley. So this is a map of London. If you're not familiar with London, this is the MRT or MTR network of London. The map's really helpful because it kind of breaks down exactly where our developments are. So there's 26 developments kind of pinpointed on this map. One of the developments we're talking about today is 12 Trees Park, which is just here. London is really easy to break down, and when you break it down, it translates into, as an investor, kind of where you should be buying property. So London's broken down into zones, for those that don't know. The middle part of the white area is zone 1, and then it goes out zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. North, east, south, west. It's really important to think about this because north, east, south, west, the price points are completely different. So if we look at this great circle here, this is zone 2. If we look in the west side of zone 2, we have a development here called White City Living. If you look for a 2-bed there, you're probably looking at about 1.2 to 1.3 million pounds. However, if you stay in zone 2 and go on the other side to the east, you go to 12 Trees Park, for example, a 2-bedroom there, you're probably looking at about 650,000 pounds. The reason this is key is because there's areas within London that are specifically at the moment designed essentially for investors to buy into. And what I mean by that is it's where all the new regeneration, the new development is happening. The reason this side of the map is a lot more expensive is because it's already very established. Everything's already built there, the infrastructure's there, the transport links are there. When you're just here, you're kind of near the central part of London, Kensington, Knightsbridge, Buckingham Palace. East London, however, is kind of the new, regeneration side of London. And this is why a lot of our developments are now being focused within East London, because it's where the land is available to buy. So we're buying massive plots of land. We're planning huge developments like 12 Trees Park, and we're very early on in the phase stage. So you buy there, you can buy 12 Trees Park, for example, for get something for £450,000. But because of all the developments going on within the next 15, 20 years, it's going to very, very gradually start being priced around the side of that. And this is just a breakdown of what we've got in which zone, essentially. So we have a few in zone 1. Most of our developments are in zone 2. Zone 2 is obviously still considered pretty much central London. But like I said before, the price range is really different. If we're looking at kind of these developments here, you're looking closer to millions. And then if you're looking at kind of these, 12 Trees Park, you're more looking kind of the mid hundreds of thousands. So there's a big disparity. And as an investor, that's something you've really, really got to pay attention to. So before I go into the developments, these are questions that we get a lot, which is essentially, what does buying look like with Berkeley? So I've just broken it down, because if you, for example, made a reservation today, this is what the entire process would essentially look like. So let's say you make a reservation with Berkeley, you pay a reservation fee. So that reservation fee can be anywhere from £2,000 to £10,000. Tends to be about £2,500 to £5,000. That reservation fee then means that the property is off the market and it's held for you. Consumer code is something we have in the UK. It protects your rights as a new home buyer. So what it essentially means is that as a developer, we've made a promise to deliver something to you. We have to keep that promise. If we don't, you have a law that essentially backs you up. That comes into play up to exchange as well. So if you put in a big 10% exchange deposit and we can't deliver the product that we promised, this looks after you. My Home Plus, this is a portal, it's an online platform that Berkeley have created to essentially centralise every part of your buying process. So your warranties, your reservation documents, your contracts, everything like that, this can all be found right here. We have off-plan homes as well, so you might buy something today that doesn't complete for 3 years. Through My Home Plus, you can stay up to date with your property. This is really important, especially for our international clients on the other side of the world. They might feel that we're disconnected from their purchase. Through here, you can get updates on the build stage of the development of your apartment. So, for example, when the build team are putting in the kitchen, they're doing things to the living room, they're building the bedroom, we can upload pictures of this and you can kind of be a part of the whole process. And then we have customer relation managers as well who can stay in contact with you. Again, one of the key things about us being out here, I'm based in the Singapore office, so I'm in time zone with all of you. So you don't have to worry about waiting for a customer relations manager in the UK to wake up at 5 PM, 6 PM your time when you're just finishing work, or you're just starting to have dinner with your family. In the morning, we're here in your time zone, so we can literally come over to KL, sit down face to face. If you have problems, if you have questions, if you have concerns, we're here to support you.
How about the progress of the projects?
Sorry?
How about the progress of the project? It seems we want to solicit as a partner, client asking regarding the progress of the project. Is it inside the My Home Plus?
Yeah. So let's say you bought 12 Trees Park. For example, you could just ask me, what's the progress like? I'll send you a progress video. I'll send you pictures of a live. I'll send you live pictures.
It's based on percentage. What's the percentage, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be portrayed inside the My Home Plus. We can check for that.
Yeah, correct. So this is just the point of reservation. There's obviously you've got buyer, solicitor, and the mortgage broker as well. These are two things that you need. If your mortgage broker is getting a mortgage, buyer solicitor is something you obviously need when you're buying. This is just to say that we can recommend them. I'm sure IQI as well have people they can recommend, but all different stages, if you've got any questions, any concerns about things, we're here to help with that. So after you've reserved, you would then go on to exchange. So with Berkeley, there's a breakdown in stage payments. So at the point of exchange, you always pay 10%. On any property, it's always a 10% exchange deposit. And then it goes into stage payments. So if something is complete or completes within the next kind of 6 to 7 months, you would just pay the 90% balance on completion. If it completes kind of within the next 2 years, you would likely pay 10% on exchange, and then a 10% deposit 12 months later, and then 80% on completion, and so on and so forth. As the completion date gets further along, we break down stage payments. And then, as I said before, we've got customer relations managers in My Home Plus who are there to support you all the way up to the point where you complete. And then once you have completed, that's when you pay your balance. Stamp duty is on completion as well. And then we have an orientation and the lettings agent, which is essentially for an investor. This is the bit when Edith would come in, the lettings and management side. So once you've completed and you're ready to start getting that rental income per month, that's when we would hand you over to someone like Edith, and they would look after the management and the month-to-month management. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the two developments. I'm going to keep this as brief as I can, because I appreciate that you've been sitting here for a little bit now. And also, I think it'd be better if we spoke about this in person, if you're interested in one of the developments. The two developments we're talking about today, they're slightly different from each other. One of them, which is Hartland Village, is just outside of London. The reason we're talking about Hartland Village is because it's a different product to what you're probably used to if you come to these the London property tours. Hartland Village, we have freehold landed or freehold landed properties where you don't pay a service charge, you pay an estate charge. So in terms of being an investor, you pay out something less. So London, for reference, is just up here. Hartland Village is just to the west, an area called Fleet. Fleet is basically just like a village outside of London. It's very quintessentially British. People from overseas like buying there because it's almost like a statement piece. To say I have a 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom, freehold house in the UK countryside, it's a really nice thing for someone to say they own. Also, as an investor, it means you get a good rental yield per month. But if you are looking at some point in your life to move back to the UK, or to move to the UK, or for your children to move to the UK, you might not want to be in a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment in London. It might be a nicer thought to have something kind of out in the countryside, big garden, big house. So the option's there. So Fleet is just here. To get from here up to London, it's 35 minutes. So it might look quite far away on a map, but it's very, very accessible. Here to here, it's just 35 minutes. The next few slides are just a few pictures of kind of what the development actually looks like. So this is the entrance to Hartland Village. The road outside the development is just here. Drive over this bridge, and then you go into the development. And this gives you kind of an idea of what houses here look like. It's very traditional brickwork, very stylish, it's very timeless. With Berkeley as well, we are primarily a landscape-led developer. So a lot of our developments, all of our developments are residential, and then all of the surrounding area is green space as well. Heartland Village is very unique because we're not building a development, we're building pretty much a new town. So within Heartland Village, we're building residential, we're also building schools, we're also building new commercial space, gyms, shops, there's going to be a nursery, a primary school. So essentially buying into Heartland Village is like buying into the very beginning of a new town being built. And this just gives you an idea of what that town centre is going to look like. So this is the master plan of Hartland Village. Those pictures you just saw are of this area just here. So that's the bridge, this is the water, and then this is the entire master plan. The development was only launched about 3 years ago, and this area here is the only area that's currently complete, and we're currently selling this area here. All of this is yet to be released, yet to be built, yet to be launched. So you're buying into a very, very early stages of a big kind of master plan. As you can see, the whole surrounding area is kind of British countryside. There's 70 acres surrounding the entire development, green space. The village centre is going to be kind of just here, and then you're going to have school and a nursery kind of within this. When you buy houses here as well, you have car parks that come with the house. It's also another thing, when you buy an apartment in London, so let's say you bought an apartment for £500,000, if you want to buy a car park, that's probably an extra £50,000. You're then probably paying a service charge of about £2,000 per year. So it starts to stack up. A lot of the reasons people decide to go for houses is because the car park comes with the apartment, with the house. The house could be about £600,000, so you get a 3-bedroom, fully detached house for the same price as you can buy a 2-bedroom apartment in London, and then you pay a estate charge as opposed to a service charge. So the next couple of slides are just a couple of properties that we currently have for sale. So this gives you an idea of what this looks like. This is a property that is for sale. So this is called The Pine. This particular property is on the market for £690,000. So it's one of our more expensive ones in the development. I've got 2 properties I'm going to show you at Hartland Village. One of them is kind of one of the nicer, bigger properties that you might potentially buy as a family. The next one is one of the apartments we have for sale here, which would be really great for investment. So with the houses, they're spread over 2 floors. It's an open plan concept. Most of the properties we're selling are open plan concepts. The front door is just down here. The open plan concept goes from the kitchen to the dining room here, and then you've got large kind of French doors going out into the garden. Floor to ceiling heights in these apartments are about 2.7 meters. So 2.7 meters, very similar to kind of the height here. So it's lots of space. The living room, huge space here, and then it's wooden flooring throughout as well. So it's a really nice feel. And this particular one is a 3-bed. So with the master bedrooms, you always have a built-in wardrobe. So that's the primary bedroom that comes with an ensuite, and then you have your 2 second bedrooms here, bedroom 2, bedroom 3. Bedrooms are a really big size as well, and if you want built-in wardrobes into all the bedrooms, that's something we can do for you. So this second option is something that I would say would be a very good investment. So this is a 1-bedroom apartment that's on the market for £305,000. So you could likely get this for under £300,000. But it's the exact same kind of thing you would get in London, just for a lot less money. The apartment itself, so again, it's an open plan concept, kitchen, living, dining room area, huge balcony. The bedroom, large bedroom, built-in wardrobe, huge amount of storage space. Something you'll see with Berkeley apartments, which you don't see with a lot of other London-based apartments, is that we provide a lot of storage space. In these utility areas, you have washer dryers. So washer dryers come with the apartments. And the kitchens as well are fully fitted with white goods and appliances. So everything you would expect to be in a house, light fixtures, appliances in the kitchen, microwave oven, dishwasher, washer dryer, everything like that is already in the apartment. If you're an investor, the only thing you have to worry about is furnishing, which we can help you with. And again, if you're buying it for own use, you just have to worry about moving your own furniture. And then this is just a page that kind of shows stats about Hartland Village and the rental there. So it's comparing it largely to London because that's what everyone compares things to. But areas like this, they tend to see, in some regard, a greater level of growth. The reason being is because these outer London areas are becoming more and more in demand, especially post-COVID. A lot of people decided that they wanted to live outside of the city where they're working, where they're going to school. They wanted the quick access still. So Hartland Village, like I said, you can still get into London within 35 minutes. But in terms of your day-to-day, your living on the weekends and everything like that, you're in this kind of outer London, open green space. It's really lovely. And a lot of people renting are also kind of looking for that. Another thing with these houses is that your rental pool, the people that are going to be renting the apartment, they always tend to be families. So they're families with kind of good incomes, they're going to look after the property, you're going to get really good quality clients. So as a landlord, especially a landlord on the other side of the world, it's not something you have to worry about. And then I'll let you read through the stats here. But I have all these slides as well that I can send to you. They're also in some of the brochures that we have here as well. So the next project I'm going to talk about is 12 Trees Park. So 12 Trees Park has actually been the best-selling development across Southeast Asia for us this year. So 12 Trees Park launched in 2021, and it's a huge master plan. And I'll explain when we're on the master plan exactly what I mean by, when I spoke at the beginning about buying land strategically, this is the perfect example of that. So just to kind of pinpoint exactly where it is. This is the UK, this is London, and 12 Trees Park is right above Canary Wharf, just here. So in London, we have this thing called the Golden Triangle. And when I spoke at the beginning about East London being a hot spot for property investment, the Golden Triangle sits right within East London. And the 3 points of the Golden Triangle are the City, Stratford, and Canary Wharf. So the City is obviously London City, Stratford is where the Olympic Village was in 2012, and Canary Wharf is the financial hub of London. Everything within this triangle at the moment is essentially empty industrial land or existing residential. So there's a lot of land within this area that developers like us are starting to buy and starting to build on. 12 Trees Park sits right at the top, just there. 12 Trees Park is a very unique development. So it's a 20-acre, 30-year project. It has a station on the development. So there is no walk time to the train station. You have a station with 5 different lines connecting you all over London, right on the development. And this is the master plan. So what I meant before about strategically buying land is this. So 12 Trees Park is this 20-acre plot of land right in the middle there. Berkeley also own the plot of land just above it, which is probably by both. We also have a development just here. There's 3 other developers that own land around here, and then another developer has planning permission for this white space here. None of them have started building yet, so there's no development in the area. We're the first developer to kind of start building there and actually put a price point on the market. So what that means is that at the moment you can buy into this area at a relatively reasonable price. For Zone 2 London being 5 minutes away from the financial district, that train station is literally just there. And what we're currently selling are the 2 towers here. So your walk to the station is basically nothing. The entire master plan is going to be around 3,800 homes. There's going to be facilities there, swimming pools, gyms, residence lounges, spa. We're building a new school just here. This is a 400-metre Wi-Fi enabled green park. An interesting fact that I heard recently was the Shard up here, which is one of the tallest buildings in the UK. The Shard could lay down along this. So just to give you an idea of how big this development is, it looks small on a map, but the Shard could lay down along here. From one point to the other, it's about 400 metres long, and from across, it's about 100 metres. So it's an absolutely huge open space of landscaping in the middle, all surrounded by residential. Evergreen Point, which is what we launched first, completes in 2025, and the Redwood completes in 2026. All of the facilities are going to be basically on the ground floor of here, and then all of the ground floor of the buildings through here is all commercial space. So like I said before, we're only on the first phase of this project, and this project's going to be building for about 30 years. We've committed ourselves to this area for probably the next 50, 60 years, because as this development starts to grow, we're then launching another development here, called Bromley by Bow. But the key thing about Evergreen Point and the Redwood is they're going to be the buildings that have a 0 time walk to the station. Now what this means for you as an investor, primarily, is that when you buy in now, you're going to get a really good rental yield, primarily because you're in Zone 2. Canary Wharf is literally there. So from this point to Canary Wharf, it's about 6 minutes. In terms of the rental, the people that are renting there, they're going to have all the facilities they need, they're going to have all the commercial space they need. But eventually, when you come to sell the property, you're going to be selling a property that is next to the station, has very, very short connection times into the city, has all of the facilities, all of the commercial space. So inevitably, that property is going to have increased in value. You're going to do exactly what investors want to do, and you're going to make some money. So this just gives you some idea about the connections. So 12 Trees Park is West Ham Station, and then you have 5 different lines, 6 on here, including this C2C line that go all the way around London. So the top one is the Hammersmith and City line. One stops from Stratford, and you're on the Elizabeth line. The Elizabeth line also goes from Heathrow. So from West Ham train station here, you can get to Heathrow Airport in about 40 minutes. The C2C line also goes down to the east coast of London, so you can get down to the seaside. And then the Jubilee line and the PLR line, they all go into central London really quickly. Obviously, education is key as well. So if you're buying for own use, if your children are going to be studying, one of the reasons that this was one of the biggest sellers in Southeast Asia this year was because the train station is on the development, right? So a lot of parents that have their children going and studying in the UK, they love the safety aspect of, especially if you're not that familiar with London, they love the safety aspect of being able to step outside your apartment, hop on the train, pretty much go within 25 minutes to any of the big universities. So a lot of the universities you'll be familiar with are LSE, UCL, Imperial. These are where a lot of our overseas clients, they have their children going. So they can literally go there directly, go directly back to the development. If they want to go and explore London, they can. But as a parent, you kind of have the peace of mind. As an investor, you're going to have, your rental demand is going to come from essentially convenience. That's what we all want, right? We want convenience. So that's where you're going to get it. The next few slides are just to give you an idea of kind of what the development's going to look like. So 12 Trees Park is really unique in two regards. Architecturally, firstly, so this is one of the buildings in between the Redwood and Evergreen Point. So it's a commercial hub. So as I said before, we own the freehold for all of our commercial space, and we decide which businesses are going to be going in all of our commercial space. So we've got this really kind of beautiful office hub right in the centre of the 2 points. You can see the train station just there, so it is literally on the development. And then we, in time, will decide which different businesses will be here. The way we decide which businesses we put on our development is largely dependent on the clients we see buying into the development. So prior to moving to Singapore, I worked on 2 of our developments in London for 2 years, and we used to have kind of sessions with the clients that were already living there, and we would talk to them about what they wanted. So if it was a development where there was largely a very youthful population, they would want things like Starbucks or coffee shops, bars, and then other developments, they would want things like supermarkets, everything like that. So we're very, very careful about what we put on our developments, and every development is very unique. So this is a picture of where the station entrance is going to be. And something else that's really cool is that all the ground floor units they're double story. So it's a very, very kind of breathtaking development. You go there, you don't feel enclosed at all. It's very green, it's very open, and it's very big. And architecturally, it looks very beautiful. So the Wi-Fi enabled park, the 400-meter long park I was telling you about, this is what it's going to look like all the way along the park. It's all commercial space that looks like this, covered in greenery, covered in landscaping, and there's just going to be different businesses door to door. And then this is just to give you an idea of what the overall regeneration plan is for this area. So Stratford first became really big during 2012 when it was made into the Olympic Park. Development first began in Stratford then, and a lot of people made a lot of money because they bought up here. Westfield Shopping Centre opened a branch of their shopping centre there. Westfield in London is the largest shopping centre in Europe, so very, very popular to kind of be near that. And Stratford's kind of had its time now. So it's still there, it's very well established, but people don't really buy there anymore because like I was saying about West London, it's established, it's there, price points are now high, it's a very desirable area to live. Go down now to 12 Trees Park, this is where the regeneration has moved. And what we're going to see around 12 Trees Park is essentially what happened in Stratford, because now that's where the land is, that's where we're building, that's where we're going to start basically turning it into the new big residential area. You've also got London City Airport, just next to Canary Wharf. The last few slides are just to show you kind of what facilities are going to be like at 12 Trees Park. So, as with all our developments, you have 24-hour concierge, residence lounge, screening rooms, gym, and then eventually you will also have the swimming pools, the treatment rooms, a spa, so absolutely everything. And then the next few slides are just to kind of give you an idea as to what they're going to look like. So this would be like a residence lounge where people can go to get coffee, to do work. Residence gym. And then swimming pool, spa area. Okay, so the last few slides are just to kind of give you an idea about a specific apartment. So this gives you an idea of the specification. You can still choose the specification. So if you bought an apartment today, you can decide which specification you go for. This gives you an idea as to what the actual the interiors look like. So it's all kind of top quality. Wine fridge, microwave, oven, loads of storage space. Really, really beautifully designed, very well thought out. Bathrooms are very, very contemporary as well, very timeless. And this is just to give you an idea of what the rental market is currently like as well. And the stats on the right are primarily geared around kind of East London. So East London, because it's the kind of the less expensive part of London, it's where a lot of the population within London is moving to. So the people that are wanting to rent, they are moving to London because the rent is slightly lower. The people that are wanting to buy are doing the same thing. They're buying in East London because they can get a slightly lower price point, they can make a lot more money. And so we're seeing a population growth, we're seeing the price point starting to go up, we're seeing a lot of explosive activity there. And it's why investors are so keen to kind of get involved. These last few slides are just an apartment I've picked out, and we can kind of have a look at today. So this is that long part I was talking about. The train station is just here. And as Edith said, the investors tend to go for either a suite, a one bed, or a two bed, two bath. What I've picked out for you is a one bedroom suite, which is this one just here. It's got really, really beautiful views kind of all along the park, all into the development. This is what it looks like. So it's on the market for just under, it's on the market for £482,000, £500. And the great thing about this is that it's a suite. It's priced at a suite, like a Manhattan, but it's essentially a one bedroom. So if someone came and looked at this, you could walk in, good front door, massive utility space, and a storage cupboard here. So especially if you're living on your own or it's a couple, there's loads and loads of space to kind of put their stuff. There's a built-in wardrobe as well, so all the storage is already built in. Bathroom here, and then open plan kitchen, living, dining area. So you could essentially put this on the market as a landlord for a one bed, but in terms of what you're paying for it, you're paying the price in zone 2 for a suite. And then if you're standing in that apartment, this is what the view looks like from that apartment. So we're obviously here all afternoon, so we can take you through kind of any of the developments. We can take you